We begin tonight with the breaking news as we come on the air live here in the West. There are new developments at this hour in the search for Nancy Guthrie, the 84-year-old mother of Today Show host Savannah Guthrie. A law enforcement official briefed on the investigation, telling ABC News just moments ago that the Pima County Sheriff's Department, with assistance from the FBI, has now detained an individual for questioning in connection with the abduction of Nancy Guthrie, Savannah Guthrie's mother. Let's bring in our chief investigative correspondent, Aaron Katersky, leading us off with his late reporting here. Aaron, what have you learned about where this person was detained?
According to this law enforcement official briefed on the investigation, David, this individual was detained at a location south of Tucson. Law enforcement officials have obtained a search warrant to search a location associated with this individual. They are not at this point calling the individual a suspect or a person of interest, simply someone who has been detained for questioning in connection with the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie. And it came, David, on a day of a breakthrough. The first images of a subject seen approaching Nancy Guthrie's house in a mask and gloves. Those first images coming just hours ago. Tonight, for the first time, the FBI releasing chilling images and videos of a subject in the Nancy Guthrie disappearance. The video shows a masked man wearing gloves, a backpack, and with a weapon in his waistband approaching her front door. Authorities hoping the public will see the way this man walks, moves, his eyes, and that someone will recognize him. You can see the man with his hand in a glove trying to cover or block the lens on Nancy Guthrie's Nest Cam, using his other hand then to fiddle with the device. The man can be seen turning around and walking back to the arched entryway, looking down at the ground before grabbing brush. The subject, his eyes visible, walks back to the camera, appearing to tamper with it, trying to cover the lens. The images leave little doubt how terrifying it must have been for the 84-year-old grandmother with a masked figure, armed, showing up in the middle of the night. Authorities know every frame could hold clues that could lead to this subject's identity.
You can see his eyes. There's a possibility around his mouth that there's some facial hair.
You can get a lot of information now, not only off of the gloves and the front of the backpack, but also his height, his weight, that he may have had the mustache, the color of his eyes, potentially. Even though it is black and white, they may be able to go with the hue of his eyes.
And today, Savannah Guthrie quickly sharing the new images from the FBI on Instagram, posting, "Someone out there recognizes this person." And of her mother, she says, "We believe she is still out there. Bring her home." Sources told ABC News the Guthrie family was shown these images before they were made public and did not recognize the man. Tonight, the FBI says, after working closely with our private sector partners to continue to recover any images or video footage from Nancy Guthrie's home that may have been lost, corrupted, or inaccessible due to a variety of factors, the video was recovered from residual data located in back-end systems. Nancy Guthrie had a Nest camera at her front door. That company's owned by Google. And although you can record in real time, Guthrie did not have a current subscription to access the images. Google said it was assisting the investigation. Nancy Guthrie was last seen 10 days ago now, Saturday, January 31st, when her family dropped her home just before 10 p.m. after dinner and game night at her daughter Annie's house. It's not clear when these new images were recorded, but investigators say the doorbell camera disconnected at 1:47 early Sunday morning, and about 40 minutes later, Nancy's pacemaker app disconnected from her phone. Investigators say DNA tests confirm the spots of blood found at the front door were Nancy Guthrie's, and you can see that camera is gone. Over the weekend, the FBI spotted on the roof of Guthrie's home inspecting a different camera.
Are they able to get further video from that camera that they found above the residence over the weekend? If they're able to get more video, hey, maybe we'll get a car, maybe we'll get a picture of Nancy leaving the residence.
Tonight, this major break in the case comes after 2 deadlines passed from someone who claimed to be Nancy Guthrie's abductor. NBC reporting they demanded $6 million in Bitcoin. It's unclear tonight if authorities believe the person behind those demands was really the abductor, but the family had no choice but to engage, pleading for proof that their mother was still alive. That proof of life never came.
Return our mother to us.
And then Savannah and her siblings trying to reach that potential abductor by saying, "We will pay." They never heard back.
This is very valuable to us, and we will pay.
Tonight, with those deadlines passed and this new major break in the case, Savannah Guthrie saying of her mother, "We believe she is still alive," and she's hoping someone will recognize this masked man at her mother's front door.
He seems to be sort of disorganized about what he's doing. It looks like he's improvising at this point. His movements, his actions, to a certain extent his gait, he seems to walk a little stooped over. Those are all things that potentially can be helpful in identifying him.
All right, let's bring back in our chief investigative correspondent, Aaron Guthrie, with us live here for this West Coast edition of World News Tonight. Aaron, you broke the news a short time ago on the network that a person has been detained in connection with the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie. As you reported there in your piece, this comes just hours after the FBI released its first images of a potential subject, a person retrieved by that Nest camera on the front of Nancy Guthrie's home. But we should make clear that authorities are not saying if there's any relation between these two or if in fact this person detained is the person seen in that video. All they're saying at this point is a person detained in connection with this case.
That's right, David. They are not saying the individual detained in connection with Nancy Guthrie's disappearance is a suspect or related at all to the video that the FBI put out as the public was digesting all of the video and heeding Savannah Guthrie's call to look at it to see if they recognized anything. Investigators were working still behind the scenes to identify whoever may have abducted her. And the authorities were seen speeding off both the Pima County Sheriff's Department and the FBI to a location south of Tucson, where a short while ago a law enforcement official briefed on the investigation told ABC News an individual was detained in connection with the disappearance and apparent abduction of Nancy Guthrie.
Well, we all did wonder after this major development of that video, that doorbell camera video that had been retrieved, the FBI working with Google to retrieve that video, if there would be calls into the FBI and to local authorities that would move this case along. We don't know for sure if that video led to this call, but of course tonight we're now reporting a person detained in connection with this case. And with just a few seconds left, Aaron, you're also reporting tonight that a search warrant is in the works to search an area connected to this person who's been detained.
They will search the location associated with the individual. David, that could take hours.
Aaron Guthrie leading us off here on this West Coast edition. Aaron, thank you.